What's going on, guys? What's going on, family? Hope everybody's had a great weekend. I know today is Monday, Manic Monday, just like the Bengals used to say back in the day. I know y'all remember that group. Walk like an Egyptian. But anyway, there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk after Saturday. A lot of people in the fan base, not all of us, but there are some in the fan base that want Heupel out as head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. I'm going to talk about that and a whole lot more here at Just Shooting the Sports. But before I get to that, for those that haven't subscribed, please do hit that notification bell. For those that are already subscribed and continue to view this channel, thank you for your support. Also, follow, like, share. Get them comments in, baby. Get those comments in. Because this is where it's at, baby. But anyway, as I always say, let's get it.
Survive if I let you.
So, there's word going around that, man, some of our Tennessee teammates, our fan base, they're sitting here talking about that, Philip Farmer, excuse me. I'm going to get to him in a minute, in just a few, because this is what it's about. This is what this episode is about. But right now, we're going to talk about Josh Heupel. There's a lot of people in the fan base that are sitting here talking about, hey, we want him out as head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. There's a lot of people in our fan base that are saying that, is he the guy to lead us back to national prominence? Not only competing for championships, but playing in championships and winning championships. Is he that guy, or is he just a placeholder for something else or someone else to come in to take us over the hump? You've had plenty of teams in the past that have had those type of coaches. Look at Georgia, for instance. They had Mark Richt at one point, and Mark Richt, excellent coach. Multiple 10-win seasons, SEC championships. But then they decided that wasn't enough. And what did they do? They went and got an alumni. Sound familiar? They went and got an alumni, Kirby Smart, who was able to get Georgia to the top and winning championships. Not only SEC championships, but national championships. And always, any and every year since his tenure, have stayed in the hunt, just like they're doing this year. There was a time, back in 92, we had a guy by the name of Johnny Majors, who had heart surgery. I think he had quadruple heart surgery at the time. And during that time, we had an interim coach by the name of Philip Farmer, who came in, ran all 3 straight. Johnny Majors come back, we win another game. We're 4-0. Then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off. We lost to multiple teams that we shouldn't even have no business losing to, especially South Carolina and Arkansas that year. What happened after that? Now, we're talking about a Johnny Majors coach that at one point won a national championship, but he won it with Pittsburgh and Dan Marino and Tony Dorsett and them, right? And then he came to Tennessee, where he played, where he was a student. He came back home, and he tried to win a championship there. Wasn't that really successful? He was okay. He won an SEC championship, won the Sugar Bowl. We all remember 35-7 against the mighty Miami Hurricanes with Vinny Testaverde, a young Michael Irvin at the time, blew him out the building. And then that next year, I remember it vividly. I think it was 86. I was living in Nashville, and I want to say we started out 0-6, and in the process, we lose to Duke. And guess who the head coach was then? Steve Spurrier. Damn. We're going to talk about that too. So back to Heupel. We were at a point in the Tennessee program where it was crash out. We crashed out on a lot of things. We crashed out on the hiring of the Rutgers head coach. We crashed out. Was it warranted? For some, yes. There's some people that say yes. There's some people that say no. Me personally, I can see why you did it, but I can also see the frustrations because me personally didn't even agree with that coaching hire whatsoever. And that was my reasons of saying, no, get this man up out of here before he gets in here, because I didn't trust the hire whatsoever. But previous to that, we had Lane Kiffin, talked about it before, came in, left out in the wind. Then after that, we get Mr. Orange Pants, Derek Dooley, who at the time, Mike Hamilton, and Mike Hamilton, a disaster of an athletic director. A disaster. A disaster. I still feel to this day he jumped the gun with Farmer. Yes. The fan base was getting restless. Yes. We wasn't, winning SEC championships, but we were competing for them. We made it to a couple of SEC championships. In between that time of the year before, we had a losing season. We lost to Vanderbilt. We come back. We play for an SEC championship. Yes, we lose to LSU, and then the next year after that, it's a debacle. And then, boom, he's out the door. Fulmer was there for 16 seasons. He only had 2 losing seasons. Only had 2. And to this day, I still disagree with that firing with Fulmer. But, it is what it is. Others may not disagree, and that's fine. You have your opinion, I have mine. But then we look at Heupel. And before I get to Heupel, then we get to the Butch Jones era. Butch Jones had a couple seasons that were underachieving, but hey, it is what it is. But then he had a couple of seasons where easily we should have been SEC Eastern Division champions. Should have been competing for SEC championships. Had the players, had the talent. We had top 5 recruiting. But I remember a time when we wasn't taking advantage of that top 5 recruiting, because at the end of the day, you can be a top 5 recruiter all you want. You can be top 5 all you want. But if you ain't got the coaching staff to get you out of top 5 high school and to make you a top 5 college player, then they still gonna be top 5 in high school. What that's gonna do for what's gonna do for the college? What is it gonna do? But there was a lot of conservative, a lot of bad play calling as well that led to the demise of his coaching era. But we should have been at least 2-time SEC champions. But somehow we would lose those type of games we ain't had no business losing, which still is a thing today in the Heupel era. As I've stated before, it ain't just under Heupel. This has been under every other coach that we've had, including Philip Fulmer. Understanding the Fulmer era. Let's not get it messed up. He was what? Let me get to it. He was 3-13 against the Florida Gators. 3-13. Now, as far as Alabama was concerned, he was 11-5-1. In Georgia, he won a couple of games against the Georgia Bulldogs. I don't have that record up right now, but he won his fair share. What I mean is, there were games, the Florida game to be exact, that determined our fate each and every year. Just about. Peyton Manning couldn't even beat Florida. Yes, Peyton Manning got 2 SEC championships. And everybody want to be in an uproar about him not winning the Heisman. You know why he didn't win the Heisman? Let's be realistic here. Reality check time. You know why he didn't win the Heisman? Because you couldn't beat Florida. All you had to do was beat Florida. You couldn't beat Florida. I've always said that. I've said that for a lot of years. Was I one of those people that were upset in 97 when he didn't win the Heisman? Yes, I was. At that time, did I feel like he should have won the Heisman? Yes, I do. But then when you let years go by and you really take a step back and you really look at it, you didn't beat Florida. You didn't take care of business. And some of them games weren't even damn close when we played Florida with Peyton at the helm. Shit, if you really want to talk criminal, T. Martin should have at least been in New York. Undefeated. National champion. SEC champion. At one point had a record of completions in one game. And he didn't even get to New York City. He didn't even get considered a Heisman Trophy candidate. Have we ever really thought about that and talked about that? No, we really haven't. But anyway, it's not about the players. It's about the coaches. So, people out here want to fire Josh Heupel. The problem is we're in a microwave society, and we've been in a microwave society for a very long time. We want success, and we want it now. We see the Kirby Smarts. We see what he does when he takes over a Georgia program that, by all means, was already set up for success roster-wise. All he had to do was come in there and bring his coaching prowess in there and take it over the top. Josh Heupel didn't benefit from that. Josh Heupel came into a situation where we were under NCAA investigation. Jeremy Pruitt, and I know people make jokes outside of the Tennessee program talking about the McDonald's bags, and every other person on that staff got caught. Plain and simple. That's what happened. He comes in, what we got going on? 30-plus players leave, out of here, gone, transferred. So he only had what he was able to work with, and he made the best of it. 7-6. Should have been 8-5. Let's be honest here. In Heupel's first season, we really want to get real about it. He was a quarterback away, a scoop and score away, and a touchdown away at the goal line of being 10-3. His first year. And when I say a quarterback away, Pittsburgh game. When I say scoop and score away, Ole Miss game. And when I talk about the goal line stands against Purdue, there you go. Matter of fact, well, we didn't even play Purdue if those two before that took care of itself. So he could have easily had 10 wins then. And then the next year, starts out 8-0. Number 1 in the CFP. We go down to Georgia, play a great Georgia team with a defense that, damn it, we would love to have. And they took care of business. But that wasn't it. We still had a chance. We still controlled our fate. And then we go to South Carolina and we basically wet the bed. We wet the bed and we lost our quarterback in the process. Now, we can say, oh, they had our signals and, oh, this person cheated. Oh, stallions, whatever, he gave up the playbook. Or, or it was internal fighting that took place and that's why everybody wasn't on the page. Well, whatever the case may be, we lost. And that kicked us out. If we would have won that game and ran the rest of the way, even without Hooker or with Hooker, we would have been in the 4th spot of the CFP. We would have made the playoffs. But we didn't. So be it. But, once again, winning record. A winning record. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, he was 7-6 first year, 11-2 second year, 9-4 third year, 10-3, and he's 6-3 right now. On top of that, he is 2-2 in bowl games. Well, the first round, well, really 2-1. CFP first round, he lost, but 2-2 again, tomato, whatever. But anyway, he's 43-18 right now. 43-18, 23-15 in the conference. If that is the case, and you want him out, then who we gonna get? Because you got to understand something. There are 9 jobs available and 2 possible. There could be 11 jobs available. And you want to make us 13? Unlucky 13? I don't think you want that. I don't think you want that. But are there any similarities between Heupel and Fulmer? Are there? That's the question that I pose. Are there any similarities? It took Farmer what? 6 years, 5 years to compete for a championship? Play for one? What, 5? Let me see. He took over in 92, 97, won his first SEC title. 98, of course, the SEC championship again, back to back. The national title came with it. 99, could have. 2000, once again, we could have. 2001, went back to the SEC championship. We lost to a trash-ass LSU team that we rocked that same season. So forth and so on. So, in his tenure, yes, he played for SEC championships. So, but is there any similarities? Besides, and if there isn't, I can understand why it won't be any similarities. Why? Because Heupel doesn't have any championships under his belt. Now, he's 2-2 against Florida. He's 2-3 against Alabama. But he's won against Florida and Alabama. Georgia, can't beat him. Not right now. But I think eventually he will. Now, I said, well, on a video that's going to come out. Well, I said I'm not saying on video that's going to come out. I think it was a video I was going to put out. I can't remember. Or no, take that back. It's a video. That I put out earlier. I give him 2-3 more years. I will give Heupel some more years. But with that being said, there is one person that I do think that really needs to be let go, unfortunately. And that's Tim Banks and Willie Martinez. But we're going to talk about Tim Banks right now. Tim Banks has really not had a world beater of a defense. Except for last year, that defense only gave up 16.1 yards per game. The reason why Philip Farmer was successful, because the 98 team, understand something, till this day, has the best average, and that was 14.5. The year before that, 97, they were at 13.2. One thing about Philip Farmer in Tennessee, they always had a great defense. Now, were there times here and there where they got mollywopped and got their ass tore up? Yeah, they did. But it wasn't every single game. It wasn't every single game. We've been dealing with this with Tim Banks for 5 years. And last year was really the only year that he didn't give up a lot of points. But years prior to that, whether we moved up in the rankings or not, we were still giving up points in a lot of them. Some games had to be in shootouts, more than others. But we were giving up a lot of points. But we can never have the same thing. Understand? We can't get here. We can't never get here. It's either offense here, defense here. Defense here, offense here. Or here. We're putting up a lot of points, but we're giving up a lot of points. I'm sorry, but you can't win championships that way. I'm sorry. Look at Ohio State. They're out here beating the shit out of everybody. Why? Because they can put up points and they can play defense. Even when last year, when I thought Ohio State wasn't really that good until they reached the playoffs, they were still putting up points. But they were playing good defense. And even the games that they lost, they might not have put up a lot of points, but they didn't give up a lot on defense. That's what you got to have. But Tim Banks is not the answer. We always sit here talking about Heupel's not the answer. Heupel may be the answer. We just don't have the defense to make it seem like he has the answer. Because offensively, let's say we had a defense, right? And let's say we average 14, the opponent only averaged 14.5, right? Let's say we had an Ohio State defense, right? We'll still beat Bama. We'll still beat Georgia. We'll still beat Oklahoma. And we'll be 9-0. Because we still put up enough points to win games. Understand something. The Baltimore Ravens of 2001 was a shitty offense. But their defense was so good, all Trent Dilfer had to do was get 2 touchdowns that day. That was it. And what they do? They went on and won the Super Bowl. So, I'm sitting here, and I came here today because I want to understand. I want people to understand. I want our fan base to understand. Heupel is our guy. Yes, there's some in-game mistakes that he makes, but what coach don't make mistakes in-game? What coach doesn't? And yes, we're only averaging in our losses, we're only averaging 29 points a game. But with a defense, 29 to 30 points a game will win you a plethora of ball games. So, you know who I am, Blackout Jones, and you know where you at, Just Shooting the Sports. And anytime I talk about that flag back there with the power T on it and that little T, you know what it is. Go Big Orange and go damn Vols. Because I am a Vol for life. Blah. Remember that. Let's go.
Survive.